it's live, and it does. All right, so in this video, I want to get a XAML page loaded and rendered on the application. And all this is F#, but the UI library is done in C#. So for example, this account has a account.ui, and that's a C# library. And I have this bank cards that I want to render. Okay. And so that bank cards, if I double click on that, bank cards.xaml, this is a XAML right here. Okay. And so right now, what I want to do is I want to take this list view. I set its item source to cards, right? And the way that this gets spun up is there's like an app.xaml.cs. In app.xaml.cs, I have this viewModels.bankcards class right here, and I inject into it some dependencies, which is essentially, let me go over here, which is essentially mocked out here, some account, a bank card query, successful remove attempt, and an empty set of handlers. So I want to set this main page to our bank cards page, and the view model is this viewModels.bankcards with the dependencies injected into it. If I go back to my bankcards.xaml, what's going to happen is that if I visit the bankcards.fs, we'll see that if I do control and mode to collapse, we'll see that I have bank cards listed over here, but we'll see that this cards is a validated card type, right? And if I examine validated card type, there's a couple things. One is let's keep this internal. One is this card is a whole bunch of wrapper types, and that's going to be harder to display. So for example, this card type is supposed to be the data type of one of the properties, but it's a discriminated union. That needs to be rendered just as a string. The same thing with card number. So if I go to validated card over here, there's a card type which is not a string. There's a person which has a first name and a last name. I'm not sure if that should really be called person or if that should be called name. What else? If I go back to this card type over here, I kind of feel like this person should be a name. This is misleading. So if I do Control RR and just say name, like that, and card number, like all this stuff is basically wrappers. And so the reason why I say all this is because in bankcards.xaml, our item source is bound to cards, but it's going to have a hard time displaying that stuff because it's going to be throwing some casting runtime errors. Okay. So, and to demo that, let me hit the play button so we can launch this application. And in the meantime, I am going to, it says open app again. Oh, I didn't open it the first time. So that's going to be building. Meantime, I can kill you, and now our emulator is doing something. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to create another type. So if I go to comment over here, I think I'm going to create another type called raw card, and then I'll just have to map a card to a raw card. That raw card is just going to have primarily primitive types on it. It's not going to be any wrappers, so that it can easily get rendered onto a page. So this Android emulator, it's now in a different state. If I look at the output window, is there an output window? Let's just Xamarin over here. What's our diagnostics over here? This is still deploying the Android application to the simulator. But I'm going to already have this card right here. And so I think I'm going to have another type called raw card. The raw card is going to have a type that's going to be of string, a holder that's going to be of string, a card number that's going to be of, I guess, well, it'll be a string, right? Expiration date. I'll just make all this stuff strings. And so right now this is still deploying. Now the question is it stuck? Do I need to try to relaunch the emulator? It's been a while. Let me cancel and just try to rerun it again. So hit launch again. Couldn't boot, snapshot doesn't exist. Okay, I don't know what that means. And this waiting animation powered by Android. Okay, good for you. Android is starting. Okay. Deleted installed packages, detecting installed packages. Okay. All this I'm reading from the output window down here. I just want it to attempt to load the XAML file that I have, and there should be like a cast error because it's not going to know how to render the card type that has a whole bunch of wrapper stuff. And so that's going to continue taking a while. In the meantime, I wonder if I could just, I probably can't. Starting deployment to device running Oreo. Found conflicts between different versions. Okay. It looks like it should be sooner or later spinning up an instance of the application. I can't imagine people that don't write unit tests, and this is what they do all day. They just spend their entire time launching the entire application, figuring out that it doesn't work, kill it, and make a modification and then spend their entire time again launching the entire application. And this is how the majority of developers do their work. So now it's as a sign. It's like it's signing the, I'm looking at this down here. It's taking a long time, man. And then it says Pixel Launcher isn't responding. I don't know. Do I hit wait? I don't even know what Pixel Launcher is. Seems like I got a lot further than where I was earlier, but it's still not launching the emulator. It's still having ceremony. So, I mean, I got to this point. Now I'm going to, do I just hold tight and wait? Do I kill it again and try to launch it again? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Let's launch it one more time. Let's see, close out. And this is taking way too long to observe anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and declare a new type down here. I don't have the patience for this. Type, let's say, what do you want to call it? You want to call it raw card and equal, or you could say primitive card. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to have the same names, but it's going to be different types. So that it could be displayed on the page. So type is going to be a string. I mean, honestly, I think all this stuff is going to be strings. All right, so all this right here, string, okay? And now what's over here? Now the simulator is finally getting ready to attempt to render something. And I mean, the call stack window is right here. Let me put it back on the output window. Okay, so now here we go. I always get this right here. Not sure why, but that error shows up in multiple applications in F#. I hit run, and I get this system.invalidCast exception. And I believe that that's related to this cards being data bound, this cards on my view model that my XAML is trying to bind to. Because if I remove this item source and then run the application, that exception goes away. So I have reason to believe that this is the culprit, which is why that I'm implementing this raw card right here. Okay. Now, with that said, in my bankcards.fs, this now needs to be there's going to be a couple of things here. That item source, this needs to be, if I rebuild this, I need to make this raw card Or I could call it displayable card. That probably sounds better. Displayable card. Or you could say card renderer. Something like that, maybe. So then I hit cancel. And then I do that. Or I could call it UI card. But maybe card renderer is, I don't know which name is better. It probably sounds cooler for me to call it card renderer. So I got some errors, which I'm not sure what errors I could possibly get because I didn't do anything. String does not match the over here. Okay. So now this card type, yeah, this to type over here. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. So the way that this can be done is just let card equals, well, okay, this isn't a card renderer. This is a card. So those errors go away. And I feel like this can be like that. So everything builds. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to go back to bank cards and I want this to be card renderer, however you spell that, renderer, something like that. Okay. And so change that. And if I continue scrolling down, Control ML to expand everything, there's something that right here, card renderer. Okay. And that card to remove is a validated card. So this is where we want to take the validated card and we want to convert it into a type card renderer. So to accomplish that, we can do maybe right here, say to card renderer. Okay. Something like that, maybe. And a two card renderer can be placed over here, in which we can say let two card renderer, and that's going to take what? That's going to take a card, which is a validated card, and it's going to output a card renderer. Okay. And so what's wrong with this right here? Validated card is not defined. Okay, so what, we need to define this further down in the code. All right, well, we'll throw you down here somewhere like that. Okay. And so then this would be, go to card renderer. We have this right here. And so we can do something like this and do something like this. And actually, I want to take you, put you up here. And I want to take everything else, do it like that. And I want to take you, know you over here. And then I want to take all this right here, bring it back like that, and then do this over here. So then everything is a string, right? So let's just, for right now, just say blah, blah. And over here, say blah, blah. And over here, say blah, blah. Same thing here, equal whatever. And over here, equal whatever. Okay. So now the compiler is happy with that. And then from there, we can say that this card, we got to be able to, what do we have here? We have a validated card dot. Okay, so let's call this validated then. Validated, and then call card. So validated, and then you say dot card, and then you can say dot, in this case, we're going to have type. And that needs to be a this is to type over here. It takes a string and generates a card type. Well, what we need is the opposite of that. We need a card type and generate a string with it. So we can have a from type, and here we have a card type, and then we just say type like this. Or we could say card type like that. And we can actually say that this is just going to be a function. So maybe we'd do something like that. And then we can take all this here and we'll just do that right there. Okay. And then we can do something like that. Okay. So that from card type is happy. And then we can just say this is Visa. And we can say that this is, come here, that this is MasterCard, and that this is American Express, which I often see as Amex. I often see this right here. Like, I think it's usually all caps. I don't know. We'll keep it like this. And then this is Discover. And then this over here is we'll say invalid. Okay. Now what? Up here, supposed to say Visa, right? So that's from type, which is right here. So down here, we can say that our validated.card.type, we'll map that into from type. Okay. The holder is a string. So we say validate. All this is going to be validated card. Okay. But over here, we can say validated card dot holder, and that should be, I don't know, to text name. Okay. And maybe that from type is to text type, to text type. Something like that. Once we get this thing back. So rename this to, rename this. Try one more time. Rename this to, oh man, do that right here. And then do that. Then this over here to text name. Okay. That holder is going to be of type name. So we should be able to say, remember this is to text name, we should be able to go up here and say let to text name equal, and remember this is a name, right? Like that. And so should be able to do something like let first name equals, and then this would be name dot first name, which is a wrapper, right? And there should be something like get name, which isn't in here. Let me see. There should be well, there's a parse first name that's over here. And then there's a parse last name. And that, well, that returns a first name, but I don't want to, I want the actual string, right? So that's not going to work for me. I don't see it in here. So in here, this get name, let me see. This can be as simple as let get name. And this will be, say, let get first name, okay? And this will be a first name, and then first, well, we'll just have name equals, and then it just returns name like that. Okay. And well, we can just put this on one line, hopefully. And so then we can do the same thing with last name. Say get last name, and that's going to be a last name right here. Okay. And then that would be name. So we do this over here. And we'll call this last name. Okay. And name dot what? Name dot last name equals get first name, and over here get last name. And so then we can say, we can just return, in this case, I think we do like something like sprintf, and we'll have, is it percent %s, percent %s, percent %s, and then we can have first name, last name, like that. And that's from this over here. So now we can have toText name, and we can scroll down here, and that is now matching up. Now the card number is something that needs to be done. So we have this over here, and then we'll just say card dot card number. The card number is going to be a wrapper of a string. So we can repeat and say, we can say over here, let to text card number equals, and then this will be a card number, and this would be of type card number. Okay. And that, that will be a, what I actually want here is, it should be a card number, and then number, like that, and then you just return the number like that. Okay. And so maybe that should be called to card number text, like that. Okay. And over here, I change that to name text. To, something like that. And if we can, over here, change that to type text. Okay. So now we have to card number right here. So we can go back down here and go to pipe that to card number. Okay. Expiration date used to have the same thing. Now expiration date is well, that shows as a string. So I should just be able to say boom, card dot expiration date like that. But it doesn't like that. Why don't you like that? You say that you're a string. The card renderer, everything is a string. All right. So what are you really? This expiration date. Oh, is the expiration date type? I was looking at the wrong thing. That's going to have month, month, year, year. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit different. So we need to extract the to expiration date text, something like that. Okay. And that is going to be kind of different because now we need to say up here, yeah, this is right over here. See over here, let to expiration date text. That's going to take let's call it date. No, I'm going to call it expiration date. Expiration date, and that is of type expiration date. And that is going to be what? Well, you can have a expiration date. Uh-oh, where am I at? Put that back. You can have this expiration date, and it's a expiration date like this, okay? And the way that that can work is right now let's just return the empty string, but let's examine this. And it says expiration date is not defined. Not sure why it says that. Oh, put this back. All right, let's go back to our original strategy of doing that. So you have your let month equals, and it's going to be this month, and then you have let year equals, and then you have this expiration dot year or dot YY. Okay. Now what? Well, this stuff still needs to return the string. Now over here, this month, we can probably say let month. Let month to text equals, and this is taking the month, and then you have a month like that. Okay, and then you could just say month. Now it doesn't know what that is. Okay, well, this is a pattern match, so we can say month to text equals function, and we can say that it's going to be January. Come here. Let's say January. We'll print out January. You do all this, February, and I feel like this has already been done somewhere. I feel like there should already be a function that, no, apparently not. All right, let's try a different type of search to figure out if this has already been captured somewhere. So Control F, and I want to find everything with January in text, and it's not there. All right, so over here, that's February, right? And then this is going to be March, this is going to be April. And this is going to be May. This is going to be June. This is going to be July. And then this is going to be August. And this is going to be September. Hold up. September. And this is going to be October. This is going to be December. Okay. So now we can call, well, we're not done yet, but hold up, there's another one. What is it, invalid or something? I'm missing November, October, November, December. November. Okay. And we're still missing one. It says undefined. Okay. Undefined. Okay. So let's line this up and then we'll start filling it in. And so then we could take you to that, and then we take you over here. Take you over. Uh-oh, come back. Take you over here, and you guys can go. Okay. Okay. Do that. So then we can fill this in and say this is February and this is March and this this is April and this is May and this is June and this is July and this is August and this is September and this is October. This is November and this is December and this is undefined. Okay, so we have that in here. Now what? Well, this is expiration date text, so now we need to figure out the year. So now we do something like this, and we'll say over here, let year, let year to text. Okay, and what is that? Well, it's supposed to be a year, so maybe we just say year like that. And that's going to be a year, 2-digit year. Okay. Now what? Well, so we have that. A 2-digit year is of type string. So Hell's Bells, I think I should be able to do something like this, like that right there. And I should just be able to say like year, like that. Okay. And so then I should be able to say like sprint F, right? And I should be able to say within double quotes %sign S and then / or is it backslash IDK? And I'll just say %sign S again. And then here I can have a, how am I going to do this? I'll have a month that pipes into a month to text. Okay. And that's going to be the first value. And then over here, I'll have the year, right? And that'll be that'll pipe into the year to text, and that will be the second value. Okay, so you do something like that, and that gets returned. Yes. Okay, so it'll be something like that. Okay, so now we have our two expiration date texts that just got implemented, and that's over here. Now we got two more. We have the billing address and the security code. Well, hopefully the security code will be easy, right? That's what I would hope. So you have something like um, card dot security code. Now your security code is what? That is of type string. Okay. So one would surmise that I should be able to say to security code text. So I could one would surmise that I could probably say let to security code text. Okay. Um, and that would be a security code. That would be this right here. Okay, security code like this, and then security code like that. And I could then just do this right here. Okay. Now, one would say that, well, you could do that, or you could just do this right here and say value. Okay. And one would say that you could probably do the same thing right here and just say value. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm starting to see a pattern now. And they would say the same thing about this right here. They say that would be value. And then they say the same thing here, and they say that would be value. Okay. And then they would say that this right here can be generic, and that you should probably make that available to anybody. And they would say to remedy the red squiggly over here, you can just place what you just declared up here. Okay. So then we have something like that, and we have something like that. Yeah. Okay, come here. Then we do something like that. Yeah. Okay, we're almost there. Then we do something like that. Yeah. Then you say, no, I want to bring it down one more level. I'm like, oh, like that. Okay. Now what? All right. So now we just did security code to text over here. So now theoretically, we should be able to say that this validated card, that security code should pipe into this security code to text over there. Yes. Okay. Now this billing address is right over here, right? And we're going to do the billing address, IDK. So go here. And we'll do something like that. We'll do like the billing address. Now that is going to be different, right? Your billing address, that's going to be different. That's not really a string, man. That's a billing address. You can make it a string. I'm not sure if I want to handle this right now. You can make it a string, but billing addresses, I mean, you could like embed carriage returns in the string. Like you could do that. I'm not going to handle that right now. I'm going to say I reserve the right to say undefined or not implemented. Okay. All right. Now what? Saying that this is duplicate. Okay. And so now you have this two card renderer thingy over here. Okay. And all this was to support this over here, which is now being recognized. And so when you say try to remove card, try to remove bank card, that try to remove bank card is over here, and that still takes a validated card. So that's why you're getting a red squiggly. Okay, true that. So what are you saying, Todd? Well, your issue is that you want to say card to remove. You want to change that and say that that's going to be your, do that over here and say, boom, pipe that. And we want this to be an expression that the result we compare it to. Okay. All right. So you got that. Now what? Now what, Willis? Well, over here, this needs to be card renderer like that. Okay. Well, it's going to be complaining because this result over here is still that. And you say, well, no worries, no worries. Because you know what? From the streets. So you say to card renderer over here, right? And well, hold up, the result is a validated card list. So you're not going to work unless well, that is a validated card list. So we could do something like this. We could just say list.map, and then over here we could say function, and we have what? We have a validated card in here. And then we can say C pipe into to card renderer, okay? And that should make everything happy, 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 or should I say hungry, hungry hippos. All right, so now what? No, there's no more red squigglies in here. Can I try to build this whole solution again? Can I try to build the whole solution again? And am I talking to myself? Yeah, I'm talking to myself. No viewers. And it's building. I think it should compile. And I honestly think that when I attempt to run this application again, we get some errors right here. And these are my tests. These are my tests. So it says, okay, no worries. The sum should be a viewModel dot. Well, hold up. No, that doesn't make sense. Let's go back. This card over here is a validated card option, but it shouldn't be. That card should now be it should be a card renderer. Okay. So if we do card renderer like that, then that's going to result in that's a card renderer option. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. Card renderer option like that. That should expose the issue down here. Submit card. And what we're doing is the submit needs to takes a function of card to remove. Okay. And so you have this. Okay, all that's expected. So I think it was okay to have this card here. Or is it? If we leave that in here, then we have a submit and then a card right here. And we want to we want to map that card. I wonder if I could say submit, and within parentheses, there should be like a type that card to a option dot map, and then that would be a function. C goes to C pipes into two card renderer like that. Now your C is a card renderer. La 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 la. Your card right here, we could change back to what we had it before, which is none, which means that it's a validated card option. And down here, we have a validated card, and then we try to take our validated card and we map it to a. Is this map supposed to take one item and map it to another type? So we have option.map, and it takes a validated card, and this card renderer is supposed to take a validated card and convert it to a card renderer. So what's the error on here? Type mismatch, expected a validated card to validated card, but given a validated card to card renderer. So apparently option.map isn't the right thing. Well, I'm not sure of what the other function would be to accomplish this, but I have an option type, and I just want to convert it to something different. I thought I could do that, but it's not going to let me. So do I really have to? I'm almost positive that there's a better way of doing this. What I don't want to do is I don't want to do this function. Okay. Then I have a sum, right? And then that's going to be the card. And then you say, boom, pipes into card renderer like that. And then I have over here a none. Then this is going to be I don't even know what this would be. And now I have all these parentheses everywhere. Oh, that's not going to work. Submit card. I guess I could say none, like that. And then this would have to be sum, like that. And I don't know. This validated card, two card renderer. The submit takes a validated card up here. Okay, so I just did all that for nothing. Let's take all this, put it on a clipboard, and then undo everything. Okay, so go over here and we'll just Control KC, and we'll just forget that all this happened over here. And do something like that. Okay. Now what? Well, all that still compiles, which is what we wanted. It was the test that was having issues. So maybe this card is a validated card option. And so that needs to, I think, this validated card here and this cards over here. I need to have a card renderer to validate a card function. That's one way of handling this. Okay. I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like doing that right now. Is there another way of doing this? Yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm going to end this video, take a break, and come back to it. So I'm out. Stop. End broadcast.